sacred rituals of the noble Native Americans. And Nathan Phillips is on. I was afraid for my life. I felt like between two groups of animals, and I was prey. And then Savannah Guthrie interviews Nick Sandman, and she's skeptical and rude. And the 15 or 16-year-old boy is telling his story. He's like, I don't know what happened. All I knew was I did not want to escalate. So I smiled and I stood still. And because the mainstream media reported him as a devil, evil, monstrous, colonizer, oppressor, white supremacist, Republican, um, he became an unwilling public figure and he sued them and got money. But I do wonder if he thinks that altercation is worth it because every time he goes out in public and shows his face, he has to wonder, are they going to know that I did nothing wrong? Are they going to think I'm a white supremacist and try to hurt me? Because racism is the number one evil in our country. Not pedophilia, not rape, not incest, not any of the true murder harms that people enact upon one another. Don't be a racist. All right. So, anyways, that's one of the. I know Obella, like that's this is one of the reasons why I have difficult conversations on Clubhouse because I don't think we handle that situation well, and I don't think we do, as Paul Harvey says, we don't search for the rest of the story.
So I think um, the most disappointing thing for me is just the failure of all of those. Again, I know probably we're going to disagree, but I feel like it's the
Sure,
failure of
we
all of
can.
those. Monica, I do appreciate, I do love that you're able to do that because a lot of people can't do that. Um, I think, and I looked at the video. Yes, I do remember. As soon as I saw his face, I do remember this situation. So ultimately, how I feel about it is it goes back to the parents and what we're talking about, right? If you have a history of a group, the purple shirts, we'll use the purple and pink shirts, these purple shirted people doing all these horrible things for such a long time to the pink shirts are going to identify, you know, purple shirt people as harm until they know that they're not. And it's up to, that is the legacy. Well, unfortunately, the pink shirts have the legacy that they've had to endure from slavery. So do the purple shirts. And their legacy is that they have to correct it. It's up to the purple shirts. You don't stand in the face of the pink shirts going, come on, Like I'm looking at the approach. Like I would have never, even at that age, that's not how I would have so naturally even interacted with a bunch of people feeling that way. You know what I mean? What happened, I feel, is the politics, the political identity caused more tribalism. That's a whole nother layer on top of our already pink and purple shirt situation. And now everything is getting crossed, and we're forgetting how to just be human. And I'm just so disappointed. I'm very disappointed in the parents because I know that even at that age, I would have never reacted that way
Wait a
to those
minute,
people.
Bima. I took a long time explaining the situation to you.
And I understood it. I understood it, and I remember the video,
So let's
but this
think
is
about.
how I feel.
But you believe that the Covington High School kids did wrong?
I think that they could have reacted and completely. I mean, just stay human. Decency is the easiest, the best thing that you can possibly do, and for your fellow man. If you see that there's a tension, our natural it's fight or flight, right? And I get that, but there's also this extra element because we've been so blessed to be able to develop this technology, which feeds us with a lot of information really fast. There's like this extra layer of fight or flight. saying, yeah, we're the purple shirts, and what? And the pink shirts are already saying, hey, look, purple shirts, you're questionable. And the purple shirts are like, and what? Without clarifying. There was a full lack of communication, and that's what I'm disappointed in.
Okay, I think you're asking too much of a 15, 16-year-old. I think of the three groups on the steps of the Lincoln Memorial, that the Covington High School kids did the best. They were impeccable with their behavior. They took heckling from the Black Hebrew Israelites and made it into a cheer. They accepted the Native Americans with the drum. They were dancing and along with it and cheering and doing the chant.
I just
And
hear victim critical, Monica. I feel like,
what do
oh,
you mean?
like they're victims. Like, why wouldn't they want to understand first? Like, why
I
wouldn't
don't
they be
wait.
receptive to understanding when something like that happens to you? I think most people are just like, hold on, what's going on? Versus saying, oh, look, they're saying this. Hold on, no, slow down a second. Try to understand. You know what I mean? I don't know. My kids
Wait.
wouldn't act like that. My kids wouldn't
Wait.
turn some
Wait.
heckling
Wait.
into a thing
Why not?
because that's
You'd rather they heckle back?
well,
You'd rather they insult them and call them the black slurs?
no, no,
You'd
I would
rather
have
they
rather them
attack
open
them?
no, I would have rather them open up a conversation, knowing
These are teenagers, and
that
the Hebrew
listen,
Israelites were adults.
you're not. That's fine. That's fine. You're still talking about a dynamic that is that should have been instilled, and this is what I'm talking about. This is those parents, the kids, these kids that weren't taught inclusiveness. They weren't taught the understanding of the harm and the pain that is still lingering every day. I mean, I was babysitting. I was a nanny in high school. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm not trying to say my experiences, I'm better than anybody else, but I feel like I was like minimal. I raised myself, you know what I'm saying? Like, I raised my siblings, and I didn't even give much. I mean, the one good thing, like I said, that my mom did was instill just love, like just in that small little area, just that little bit of foundation built in my young age.
Let's go
Followed
back
me
to the
my
let's go
entire
back to
life.
the scenario. Like, I understand that you said you'd handle it different, and that you're blaming the Covington High School kids for.
Their parents.
I'm still, but they were civil. They were following social norms.
That's not civil.
They.
That's like
What do you
tribalism.
mean? What's civil?
They drew a line and then they held their tribal line versus trying to seek, to understand first. You know what I'm saying?
Didn't I tell you that it was a 2 hour video? It was an hour and 45 minutes. That they did listen to the street preachers for a while. They did try to engage them. Meanwhile, the street preachers called them incest babies and future school shooters. Did you not hear that
Yeah,
part?
I did. And I hate to say this, and I know this is rough, but that is what they need to understand. Our society has bred to this point. We have people that are in such pain today that they're doing this shit. They needed to see that. They needed to witness it, not fight back. They needed to understand and receive it. Oh, you
Where
need to
was
feel
the
a
fight
little
back?
uncomfortable for a little bit? Too bad. Cry me a river. Like, feel
Wait,
uncomfortable for an hour, 2 hours.
where was the fight back? What did the
The fight
Covington High
back
School kids do to fight back?
was ceasing to have the conversation and engage in intellectual conversation
There was no intellectual conversation.
well,
There was
it
heckling and abuse from adults to teenagers.
that's a moment to understand. There's an opportunity to understand.
I think you're asking too much for people. And I think if the roles were reversed, and I think if there was a group of white men heckling black teenagers, you'd be all over the white men. You'd be all over casting them. Shame on them for attacking innocent black teenagers. Well, you see what Chud? Chud the Builder, harassing other men, daring them to be abusive, and then the men accommodate them, and then he tries to kill them. against the adults that were behaving so poorly. It was them, right. It wasn't a taunt. It wasn't a challenge. It was, okay, you're doing this ugly thing. We're going to come over here and do this positive thing.
You okay? I'm with Monica on this one. I do sort of understand what you're saying, but yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I feel like that situation was like a really incredible example, which is why I know Monica, like, it's like her, um,
Watershed moment, like it's
her
like
moment
liberty.
in life.
Yeah.
Is what I was gonna say. I probably thinks about it every day. But I don't blame you because I think it was like this perfect moment in culture where it was like, it was just like this moment where we really learned. I wish we had learned to. Okay, I don't even know what I'm like walking home from gym.
I'm so glad you weighed in though, Liberty. I'm going to go on for a few minutes. I really want to hear what you had.
Okay. I just think it was like when you actually look at the context of what really happened, everything that Monica described, right? Like these boys were just there doing their thing, and these, Black Israelites were disrupting them, and then the Native Americans came in to kind of like try and diffuse tension, and just like you have one image, one snapshot of the situation of that boy staring down that Native American man, and just all of the conclusions that we like. I feel like people like made paintings of that moment. Like it was like this like cultural moment where people were taking this snapshot of a situation and building a whole narrative of what the United States, the culture of the United States is in this moment, and everything was built upon a complete misunderstanding. And it seems like most of society has no interest in reconciling the fact. I've never seen someone come out and say, you know what, I'm sorry, I jumped to a conclusion, I made a wrong conclusion about what happened, I'm sorry that this boy received so much hate for things I said or things I spread online, blah, blah. I've never seen that. I'm sure it's happened. I've never seen it. And it's just crazy. It just made me the quantity of impact that moment had. How much understanding we had in the moment of what was actually going on just blows me away.
I mean, the whole thing was like a storm in a teacup, right? Nothing happened ultimately. It's just a face-off between different groups. And in one way, it's actually a great picture of America seen from the outside, because ultimately every one of every person in each of those groups have much more in common with each other than with, say, an Elon Musk or Larry Ellison or any of the powerful. Yet, because